Moje Leid, Haut will ich schwätzen, wie ich gepackt tun,
an 3 Jahren
6 Spuren zu lehren. Und sich 7. Me, ich kann das ganz nicht auf Lützeburg erklären, mehr auf Englisch. Let's go. So, first of all, it is really important to have a motivation. And by motivation, I mean a specific motivation. Why is it really important? Because first of all, you know, when it comes to language learning is actually a lifelong process. And you cannot learn a language in only one day. It takes time. It takes a lot of time, really a lot of time. And therefore, before starting to learn a new language, you should really know your reason. Why do you want to learn a new language? Why? What is your motivation? Is it maybe that you're interested in the culture? Is it maybe that you want to live in a country where your target language is spoken? Or is it only maybe because your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your wife or I don't know, or maybe you have a friend or maybe you know someone who speaks your target language? So therefore, your motivation, it has to be specific. Okay? Because this is the thing. There are some people, they learn languages because they think it's cool. They just want to be cool. Or there are some people, they want to learn language because they think that in the future it might be very useful, but they don't have any cultural interest at all. So, in this case, I would say don't do it. Please don't do it. It would only be a big waste of time. So, first of all, it is really important to have a specific motivation, to know your goal, okay? It has to be specific. I give an example. For example, in my case, I really like traveling. It is really a big passion of mine, traveling around the world. But the problem is, okay, actually it's not a problem, but not everyone speaks Luxembourgish. That's completely normal. And so therefore, I decided to learn English. The thing is, 4 years ago, my English was very bad. I could not speak English at all, and also my listening comprehension was very bad. But it didn't stop me from learning English. And so therefore, I learned English so that I could travel around the world. That's a specific reason, okay? That's an example, okay? And yeah, that's the reason why I speak English right now. In order to travel around the world, and also I met some really awesome people, and it was only possible because I was able to speak English. Okay, so you need a specific motivation. You need to be able to answer the why. Next step, input. Personally speaking, it is the most important part when it's about to acquire a new language. And first of all, I need to explain the difference between learning a new language and acquiring a new language. So, learning a new language, it's like, I would say, the traditional way of learning a new language, like at school or maybe at university, I don't know, that you have to learn a lot of grammar rules, that you have to memorize a lot of words, especially words that you never will use in your life. And I'm being honest with you, okay? I'm completely being honest with you. It is painful. It is really painful. I mean, to learn, I don't know, like a lot of words about animals. For example, crocodile or elephant or something like that. And to be honest, between us, who is going to use these words in his daily or in her daily life, or I don't know. So therefore, this what I mean by learning a new language, like rules. It's like systematic. A little bit like there's a language, there's a rule you need to learn by heart. You need to learn a lot of words and something like that. And the problem of that is only that actually there's a big risk of forgetting everything. Why? It's because your brain is really able to know what is important and what is not important. And when your brain knows that there's something which is not important, then it kind of deletes it. And that's the same thing about when we learn unimportant words. Because then the next day, or maybe 1 week later, or maybe even a few hours later, we will forget the words. And that's a big problem. That's learning a new language. Acquiring a new language, there's a whole different story. Because first of all, when we acquire a new language, it's like how babies learn a new language, okay? For example, if I were to ask you, how did you learn your native language? Why can't I speak Luxembourgish? Why can't a German speak German? Why can't a French person speak French? Why is that so? It's because when we were little children, we were only surrounded by the language. We were in a immersion. We were hearing the language all the time, only hearing. We didn't learn anything, only by hearing, listening what other people said. And then the consequence is that because of the constant listening process, that you've been listening a lot to a language, that we are trying to imitate what we heard. And then maybe you make a mistake, then papa or mother or mama will say, no, this is false, you should not say like that. And then the next time we will be remembered by our mistakes, like, no, I should not say that and that and that. And this is the way how we should acquire languages. By listening, a lot of listening, okay? That's how we became fluent in our native language, But the point is, right now we're adults, okay? When we were little children, we were only at home and we didn't have any responsibilities, for example, work, family life, or other things, school, university. How can we acquire new languages? And so there's a theory which is called comprehensible input. What does it mean? It means that you will listen to a video. So I would say a short video, about 8 minutes or 10 minutes of length. Okay, it's not really that short, but you will listen to a video where your target language is spoken, and the goal of that is to try to understand the message, what is being said. And here's the thing, the thing is that the person who is speaking your target language is speaking in a way that is comprehensible, which is really easy to understand what is being said, okay? I give an example. For example, if I would say in French, c'est une main. I'm just saying c'est une main. For those who cannot speak French, they have probably no idea what I'm talking about. And that's completely okay, because I didn't say anything more special. But if I were to say c'est une main in a comprehensible way, let me guess, for example, c'est une main. Again, c'est une main. And then, c'est une main. So, right now, you just understood that main means hand. Why? Because the thing is, I was saying c'est une, like this is, and then main. At that moment, when I was saying main, I showed my hands. And this was a way how to make a message comprehensible, okay? How to make a message really comprehensible. I give another example. For example, Japanese. Atama desu. Atama desu. Again, for those who cannot speak Japanese, they have probably no idea what I'm talking about. But now I'm making the message comprehensible. Listen. Atama desu. Atama. Atama desu. Again. Atama desu. Probably you guessed right. Atama means in Japanese head. But how could you know that? You didn't even memorize that. How is it possible? It's like magic. But like I said, it is comprehensible input. And also, the best way to do that is just when you listen every day, maybe or at least 5 minutes to comprehensible input in your target language. I did that, I've been learning 4 languages now for 3 years right now. And I did it on myself. I can even prove it. It is really important. It has to work. It has really to work. I'm not really more special than you, actually. And the thing is, of course, the thing is, I was doing that while I was doing other things, because I did not study languages, okay? I didn't study that. Actually, I studied electrical engineering. It is a completely whole different thing. But I was able to do that at the same time. At the same time, I was able to listen to some podcasts or to some videos in my target language. But the thing is, when it comes to listening to a new language, you can do it passively or actively. Actively means like that you concentrated. You're trying to concentrate what is being said, and passively is like you would be listening to music. You wouldn't pay any attention at all. You're just consuming it. Okay. For example, while I was studying mathematics or electric engineering, like a subject, at the same time I was listening to a podcast or to a video, and my goal was not to pay any attention to what is being said, but only to be used, that my ears are getting used to the sound of the language. And this is really, really, really important, okay? To get used to the sound of the language. And yeah, and also input is also the best way to improve your comprehension, listening comprehension, and reading comprehension. That's really important. But now about input, how long does it take so that you can acquire a lot of words? So I would say at the beginning, if you're completely new to learning a new language, I would give myself like 6 months. 6 months of doing that. But it also depends on your native language. For example, I give an example, okay? For Luxembourgish native speakers, learning Dutch is far easier than learning Mandarin Chinese. Why? Because Dutch, linguistically speaking, it is really quite similar to Luxembourgish. And also about the vocabulary, it's the same like Luxembourgish. For example, house. Luxembourgish house. It's not really a big difference. And so therefore, I would give myself 6 months, because I also did that to myself, when I was learning Spanish on my own. But input, the thing is, it has to be enjoyable. You have to enjoy it really. Because like I said, learning a new language on your own, you are your own master. You decide when you want to do it, how often you want to do it. But like I said, for the busiest people in the world, I mean really, people, for those who are really, really busy, 5 minutes every day. Only 5 minutes. Everyone has 5 minutes. Everyone has 5 minutes. Even the busiest people in the world. Only 5 minutes. And you have to be consistent. Consistency is the key to success. Language learning is a lifelong journey, and so do not expect like in any advertisement, so in 3 months you will be fluent, or in 1 week you will be fluent. No, it's not possible. No one has ever reached fluency after 3 months or 3 weeks. No, that's completely nonsense. So yeah, this is the second part. Input is so important. Listening, keep listening, and also consume content which is really easy to understand. At the beginning, I would only consume content which are on A1 level, and then when you get better and better and better, just try to consume content which are slightly above your level. Okay, slightly above. Okay, and just keep doing that consistently, because believe me, guys, it is possible. The last part is output, speaking. And I know it is really terrifying to speak a new language for the first time in your life. And I will tell you something, okay? I have to be honest with you. You will fail. At the beginning, you will fail. You will make a lot of mistakes. You will sound really stupid. You will make mispronunciation, something like that. That's completely normal. It's completely normal, okay? Because the thing is, when it comes to output, you already know your language. You already can understand a lot what's being said, You already have a big vocabulary. Actually, there's nothing to be afraid about, because the thing is, as long as you can understand what someone is saying, or as long as you can understand what you're reading, you're on the safe side. It's completely safe. Excuse me, there was an airplane, okay, so therefore it was really difficult to understand me. But yes, again, about output. So output, the thing is, you have to speak your target language. You have to speak very often if you want to reach a really good level, okay? And so here's the thing. I personally use a website called italki. It is a website where I use all the languages I know, okay? Like, for example, like Japanese, Portuguese, Chinese, Russian, Spanish, and Dutch. Because the thing is, sometimes my friends are busy, Sometimes I have no native speakers nearby, and so therefore I use italki. I know it costs a little bit of money, but it is completely worth it. It is so good. I use it at least, yeah, I mean, okay, right now I'm not using that very often, but I would say at the beginning I used italki once or twice a week. Why? Because the thing is, you have a native speaker who is really ready to help you, who is patient, who is there to help you, and he's not there to judge you, okay? Like I said, you will fail at the beginning. You will fail, and that's okay. It's a good failure, okay? So you will fail, but next time you will become better. And that's why I like about italki. It's like you have an environment, only you and the native speaker. It's also personal, and you can learn a lot. You can really learn a lot. And then therefore, while I was using italki, I really did big progress. italki, you can also use Tandem. Tandem is also good. I mean, Tandem is the free version, but the point with Tandem is only that it's more like, how do you say, like you speak in 30 minutes, your language, your native language, and then 30 minutes the other one's language. I don't want to say, Tandem is okay, it's okay, but for me personally, it's not really that effective, because it's more like, how do you say, 30 minutes of your time, and then in your native language, and 30 minutes in the other person's native language. While italki, it is only focused on you. Only you are here to improve your target language. And that's, yeah. Another important thing for me personally is also that you should at least once you should at least once go to a country where your native language is spoken. And you should be, you should not be afraid. I know it is terrifying. For example, I've been to Spain 3 times. The first time I was in Malaga, and I'm being honest with you, I'm completely transparent with you. I failed. I completely failed. I understood nothing what was being said. And therefore I was frustrated. I was thinking like, man, I'm such a loser. I cannot do anything. But then after that, I was also thinking like, maybe I should use this experience, like the mistake I made, and just do it better. Okay? Like I said, language learning is a lifelong journey. Consistency is key to success. Second time, Barcelona. I went, it was by far better. To be honest, I was less afraid. Why was I less afraid? Because of my previous experiences. Because of my experience in Malaga. That's why in Barcelona I was thinking like, okay, no, it's not the first time I'm speaking Spanish. And also, I failed sometimes, but sometimes I did really good. I improved a lot. For example, I was at the airport, and the thing was, my flight to Luxembourg was cancelled. And so therefore, I had only 2 hours left to buy a flight ticket back to Luxembourg. But the thing is, I did that everything in Spanish. And now the thing was, it was not about how well I could speak Spanish. It was more about, would I ever be able to go back home, you know? And so therefore, I didn't pay any attention. I spoke Spanish right away. Oh, wait. Is there a flight? I don't know. I spoke Spanish all the time. And it was really good. It was really good experience. To be honest. Because I was in a situation where I was forced to speak it. And then the third time, it was in Madrid. I was with a friend of mine, and it was a big success. It was really great success. Because this time I could understand everything. I could do everything. Like almost a native speaker. And so therefore, therefore after 3 years, después de 3 años, yo puedo realmente decir que mi español está muy bien, que en este momento para mí no me cuesta muchísimo hablar español todo el tiempo. Entonces, cuando yo estaba en Madrid con mi amiga, que tenía muchísimo éxito con mi español, porque la verdad es que yo puedo entender todo, y entonces yo podría realmente usar español de una manera natural, de una manera natural. Y por eso estoy muy contento, Y la cosa que yo quiero realmente decir es que... joder. Disculpe. Hay un... ¿Cómo se dice en español? Avión, y sí, hay un avión. No, sí, exactamente, es la cosa que quiero decir, que entonces en este momento es realmente posible aprender idioma. Es posible aprender idioma con el español, porque la verdad es que cuando yo empecé a aprender español, no tiene realmente que vivir en un país hispanohablante, realmente vivir en un país donde se habla español. No, es únicamente, tiene únicamente que escuchar. Yes, and this is exactly how I learned Spanish, by listening. It is important to have a specific goal. It is important the input and output. And the last part is just enjoy your life. Enjoy your life in your target language. Really, that's what about. You learn the target language because you want to live in this language. Thank you very much for watching my video. Vielmals merci, dass ihr mein Video geguckt habt und wir sehen uns demnächst. Adi.